it's Corinne with Thompson RV in Pendleton, Oregon. Today I'm going to show you a brand new 2025 Wolf Creek 850 truck camper built by Northwood Manufacturing over in La Grande. So, as many of you already know, Arctic Fox is the same company as Wolf Creek. So they're all built by Northwood, sister company to Outdoors RV. So if you are looking for a high quality truck camper, but maybe you just want to go a little bit lighter weight than an Arctic Fox, that's where the Wolf Creek comes in. So I've been using Wolf Creek campers for years. I just recently stepped up to the 865 Arctic Fox, which you may have already seen that video. But for years and years, the boys and I, we traveled around in a Wolf Creek. So I've had the 840 as well as the 850. This is kind of our camper of choice when we wanted to hit the road. No plans, nothing in mind, no reservations anywhere. We've gone all the way through the Redwoods. We've done Utah. We've gone all over the place in Wolf Creek. The cool thing about the Wolf Creek, again, like I stated earlier, is it's a little bit lighter weight. The way they do that is just slightly thinner walls than the Arctic Fox, slightly smaller tank capacities, also a little bit shorter overall profile. So they've done some creative things to create a little bit lighter weight truck camper, but without sacrificing quality. So we woke up in Bryce Canyon and it was 9 degrees outside, and honestly, we didn't even know. We option all of ours in with the dual pane windows here at Thompson RV. So you couple the dual pane windows with their 4 seasons package, and you've got a camper that you can easily take snowmobiling, skiing, elk hunting, whatever you want to do in it cold weather wise, but then also they're great for the heat. So anything with extra insulation, we always sort of think cold weather, but ultimately anything with good insulation is going to be not only great for cold weather, but also for hot weather. So the dry deserts, when you get down to Utah, St. George, we did ours all the way through Zion. So it's just a really well-built camper. And again, it's a great option if you want to save a little money and save a little bit of weight. We have a lot of people actually, just like me, that the Wolf Creek was a perfect camper because they already have a big fifth wheel or a trailer. So the camper's kind of their secondary unit. I know my brother, he also has a Wolf Creek camper. So he uses that on shorter trips or if you want to tow a boat or you want to tow something. But it's a great option if you don't want to go quite as fancy as an Arctic Fox because maybe it's your second unit. So anyways, this is a brand new 2025 and it has the newest interior. It's going to have the newest solar system. When we do a walk around on the outside after we do a little showcase of the inside, I will talk about short box, long box, and which trucks are going to be more ideal for this truck camper. But let's get started on what this one looks like on the inside. So this is the 850. So obviously rear entry door model, but this one you have the option of the rollover sofa right here, or you can also get more of a dinette kind of a lounge type of setting. So this one is easier to make into a bed because the sofa just flips over, you just remove the table. The other one, you have the option of putting the bed down in and putting a cushion on top. You always are going to have the overhead bunk option in the Wolf Creek. And so obviously we have the wood and the pads in here to make it into a bunk, but you can take that out and this then becomes storage. Once folded down, this bunk is good for up to 150 pounds. As I stated earlier, dual pane windows. These do slide open so you can get a really good cross breeze in the truck camper. We option all of ours with the deluxe fans. So you're going to have a fan over the bed. It's a good idea if you want to get airflow going to just kick on one of the fans onto exhaust and then open up the windows and it will pull that air into the camper. You get the night shades. And again, they've gone to more of a gray look this year. So a gray wash on the cabinetry. It is still going to be solid hardwood. And then this particular one is in the gray tone interior. They've also gone to the new Furrion 12-volt refrigerator. So 400 watts of roof-mounted solar, and then the stainless steel Furrion fridge. I have the seat step here, so you can't quite get the fridge all the way open. This is a great upgrade that they did a couple of years ago. Back when I was still using Wolf Creeks, you had the tiny little fridge with the flip-down freezer. I mean, it was really little. So having a full-size fridge in a lightweight camper is awesome. Speaking of lightweight, this one comes in right at a couple thousand pounds. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more once fully loaded. So when we do talk about trucks, you do always want to check your tow rating on your truck to make sure you know exactly what you can haul. And airbags are always a good idea. You have a drawer right down here below the fridge. And then this is what the Arctic Fox calls the sit and step. So you can sit here or you can use it as access into the bed. There is also some storage right here. And then I winterize my own camper and it's super easy to do. You just remove that little bin and the pump and everything is easy to access, as well as a suction line. On our travel trailers, we typically blow them out with air, but on a truck camper, it is so simple to just stick the suction line directly in a jug of antifreeze, and there's hardly any plumbing. So 1 gallon of antifreeze will do your whole camper. So super simple to winterize. They've made it that way. There's a bypass on the water heater as well. In the kitchen here, you have a single basin sink. It is nice and deep, so if you need to wash pots and pans, you've got that option, plus the high arc faucet. And you do have a sink cover for a little bit of extra counter space when you're not using the sink. Some storage underneath the sink, and then as I was talking about winterizing, you've got your bypass for your water heater right there, super easy to access. Like I said, I winterize my own camper, so if it's that simple, trust me, you can do it. Right in here, you've got additional storage. Stainless steel microwave, range hood, and then you've got the glass top on the stove, so you have extra counter space here as well. And then when you get ready to cook, you just flip this up. You have a 3-burner stove, and the front one is high output for boiling water. Just make sure that you do have your handles turned off to the side. Made that mistake before. And you do get the oven. So there is an option to not have an oven. You can actually get a drawer. I would highly recommend the oven. It is, if nothing else, even if you don't use it, it is a lot better for resale value. Most people are going to want an oven. Knife rack right here behind the stove. And as you can see, you have ample counter space in this model. There's enough room to prep and cook. So a couple of drawers here. Down here, this is actually access when it looks like it just goes to outside. Obviously it does, but when you've got it on your truck, it's going to access right in between the wheel wells on each side. And shockingly, I have stored things down there before. We went to the beach one time. The boys insisted on bringing beach toys, which seemed like a complete waste of space when you're trying to haul a truck camper. But what I did was I stuck them right through there. You've got all that space in your bed right in front of the wheel well. And so we just had some stuff in there that maybe you don't mind being outside, because obviously if it did rain or something, it could get wet. But you can tuck stuff in your truck bed that you can access from inside the camper. Right here, this is going to be a wardrobe closet, so there's some hanging space. So you can use it for coats or anything long. And then this is a wet bath model, and they use a solid single piece of fiberglass, so there's no seams. And then there's a shower curtain that goes right here to protect the door. And it is what we call a wet bath. But they're actually super convenient, to be honest. They're very easy to use. I've had people, comment that it's odd to have the toilet in the shower. It really isn't. When you're talking about this much space, I mean, this fits on a short box truck, or on a short box truck. So obviously you're going to have to save space, and saving space in the bathroom is ideal, and having everything right there is actually super convenient once you get in there and use it. They do give you a skylight above so that for you taller folks, you've got plenty of headroom. But yeah, it's a very good use of space in my opinion. They give you a nice premium mattress in the Wolf Creek, so not the springy, flimsy stuff that comes in a lot of lightweight truck campers. You've got some storage right here for clothing, as well as right down here below. One thing you will notice that is different about this than the Arctic Fox, and again, this is to save weight, is in the Arctic Fox, all of this here is going to be wood, so it's extra storage, hamper space, etc. Right here, it's completely open in a Wolf Creek. But true story, when my kids were really little, I actually put down padding and pillows, and my twins would sleep on each side of the bed. So that is how we fit into a truck camper. All four of us was to just put them on the side there. So it was nice having a Wolf Creek when they were little. Now we have upgraded to the Fox because we need more storage. So we utilize the bins on each side. But if you're trying to save weight or you just don't need that much extra storage, the Wolf Creek is a great option. You do get a 12-volt Jensen TV, and it does swing around so you can watch it from the dinette or sofa, but then also watch it from bed. And that plugs into, you've got a HDMI port on the stereo. So Bluetooth and HDMI port to watch television. There's also a TV antenna. There's a 110 outlet right here, as well as a 12-volt outlet and USB ports over here. And over on this side, you have a wardrobe closet. So it has the hanging piece right above. And then you also have a countertop extension. So where the sit and step goes right down below, you can also add in a countertop extension. And then on each side of the bed, you are going to have another wardrobe closet. In that particular one over there, it has the solar charge controllers, USB-C and USB port, 110 outlets on each side of the bed, as well as a directional reading light, and then extra storage right above the bed. This is a great place to store your phone, books, anything really that you want to have up in this area. Speakers, so those are going to run off of the Bluetooth stereo. And then you do have a curtain that you can slide if you want a little bit more privacy. Last few things on the inside before we take a walk around on the outside. This is what it looks like with the countertop extension in. As you can see, it doesn't allow great access into the refrigerator, kind of like the sit and step, but it is really easy to take off. You can just set it up on the bed, access the refrigerator, and then also access this drawer down below. And then over here, this is going to be your remote for the Max Air fan that is above the bed. You get a digital thermostat. That's going to work for the heating as well as the air conditioning. Cab over light. This actually kills all power to the lights up in the cab over. So one thing to note is this does need to be on in order for everything up there to work. So you can leave that on and turn off the lights individually when you go to bed, or you can just flip the switch. But when you wake up in the morning, there's no power up here, so you have to have that switch turned on as well as those switches turned on. Water pump switch, porch light switch, gas and electric water heater, as well as your generator start switch. This is a short box model, so it does have the built-in generator. I will show you kind of what it looks like to get a long box model versus the short box. That would explain why you can't get the generator on the long box. So let's go take a peek at the outside and we'll cover some of those details. Another new feature is going to be the rear observation camera. So not just a backup camera, also you can use it going down the road to see what's behind you. Outside speakers that do run off of the stereo inside, so you can Bluetooth your phone to the stereo and then listen to music outside. An electric rear awning. Then one of the coolest features about all the Arctic Fox and Wolf Creek truck campers is going to be the Fox landing. So you've got a cutout right here. If you are towing something, it gives you access to get into your truck camper while you still are connected to the trailer behind you. And then when you are going down the road, you just flip all this in and it stows up and out of the way. And then when you get to where you're going, you just flip it back down. But you can, the reason it comes off of the side versus coming here is so that if you are towing something, you can easily access the camper without disconnecting from your trailer. 110 outlets right here. This is just access to your plumbing. And then you do have sewer hose storage in the bumper. Ladder, you have the nice big thick ladder to access your full walk-on roof if you need to check sealants. Now this is a short box model, as I stated earlier, so you are going to have the Onan LP generator. If it was a long box model, there wouldn't be enough room right here to get the generator. So the Wolf Creek comes in short box, long box. A long box is going to be about right here. Obviously, you can load a long box onto a short box truck. You can't load a short box onto a long box truck because it won't go all the way up against the cab. But if you were to load a long box camper onto a short box, that's totally doable. You just wouldn't have this space for the generator. So if you do have a short box and you want the gen, you order it specifically for the short box with the addition of the generator. All of the Wolf Creek campers, as well as Arctic Fox, have remote control jacks. I remember when those first came out, and what a game changer to not have to raise 2 at a time or 1 at a time. So you can run all 4 at the same time. You can operate them individually if you're slightly on uneven ground. But it makes it so much easier to offload and load your camper. So at times, you know, I might just offload my truck camper real quick, take it down, give it a wash, bring my truck back all nice and clean, and then load the camper back up. The other thing that we recommend is going to be torque lift frame mount tie downs. I think that's pretty much, everybody knows that by now, that you want the good frame mount tie downs. Torque lift makes what they call fast guns. They're not quite $1,000 for the whole set of 4, but absolutely well worth it, especially if you do want to offload your camper quickly. 1 pin and you just release them, and you can get all 4 tie downs off in a really quick manner. So that way you can drop your camper, go do whatever you want to do, and then load your camper back up really quickly. And speaking of short box and long box, one thing you need to note is Ford and Chevy GM are going to have a different center of gravity than Dodge. So if you are buying a Dodge pickup and you want to haul a camper, you really need to go with a long box model if you want a Wolf Creek or an Arctic Fox. The short box on the Dodge is not only shorter, but the axle placement is so much farther forward than Ford and Chevy that your center of gravity doesn't line up with the rear axle. So you should not load an Arctic Fox or a Wolf Creek, even if it's a short box, on a Dodge. Your center of gravity will be off and it will bring the front end of the pickup way too far up. So this is a no-no. You definitely want either a Ford or a Chevy GM short box if you're going with one of their short box models. Obviously, a long box is always a great option. You get the new fiberglass front cap. And then coming around this side, this is where you're going to fill your 33-gallon fresh water tank. You have a port right here with a coil hose and a sprayer. So rather than an outside shower, it's going to be more of an actual hose. 6-gallon gas and electric water heater, and those are push buttons, so direct spark inside. This is just venting for your furnace. This is what we were just talking about, center of gravity. So this should be directly over your rear axle. Again, Ford and Chevy, it will line up, but on your Dodges, your axle is way farther forward, probably about 13, 14 inches farther forward than on a Ford or a Chevy. Right here, you've got your twist lock for your 30-amp power cord. This is where you would put your batteries, and we can fit 2 of the 100-amp-hour Battle-Born batteries. That's what we would recommend for the new 12-volt fridge. You definitely want to go lithium. 2 5-gallon propane tanks. And then right here, this is where you're going to have access to drain your low point drains as well as your black and gray tanks. Thank you so much for watching our video on the new 2025 Wolf Creek 850. If you have any questions, we have the number listed down below as well as the website. Everyone here at Thompson RV either already has a truck camper or has used one before. So please feel free to reach out if you need any help picking a truck, picking a camper, or just have general questions about the product. We'd love to help you.